we're feeling our best. Talking shop, but taking it slow. Crafting life as we go. From laughs to tools, from brews to skies, we're squeezing joy, no need to try. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. Life with a twist. Life with a twist. Life with a twist of lemon.
This is life.
With a twist of lemon. Jonathan, is it too early to say Merry Christmas?
I don't believe so, but it kind of depends on when we air this episode, right?
Well, I'm hoping I'm going to drop it tomorrow, so we'll see. Which is still not Christmas, right?
Not Christmas.
It's like the second to last day of Advent, or the eve of Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve Eve.
It sounded better the way I said it. The eve of Christmas Eve. Anyhow, that brings us to December 22nd on the Wall Street Journal Advent wine calendar. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to taste and talk about wine here in future episodes without the Advent calendar. Yeah. All right. So this is a French wine. This is Les Champs des Étoiles. You think I said that right? Les Champs des Étoiles.
Just commit, Stan. If you say it confidently, nobody's going to question you except maybe.
That's how I pronounce Hebrew names in Sunday school. Confidently, boldly. Okay. So apparently, assuming I said it right, this is French for the Field of Stars. And it is a Pinot Noir. So I'm going to open this. And we'll get ready to pour here. My lighting's a little dim. I'm going to have to trust your judgment on the coloring. Looks red, very deep red.
Coming out of the bottle, it doesn't look that deep color intensity. But
well, I wouldn't say it's intense. Like I can actually see through the bottom of the glass in my not well lit room with my cherry desk beneath it. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's super intense color wise, but it's just a very lovely red, very lovely red.
Indeed, it is.
Now, John, I'm getting over being sick, so I'm not sure what my nose will tell us today.
I think
definitely red fruit.
Yep, red fruit, and I think there is some yeasty vibes off the nose as well.
Yeah, I could get a sense of that, like a little bit of bread. For the listener, when we say yeast, I think it's usually like a bready sensation that we're getting off the nose. So,
I think the other thing is this is very characteristically a Pinot Noir. It's got that kind of funky smell to it.
Yeah, I feel like we discussed this. Did we discuss this on a previous episode about Pinot Noirs and the funk?
That could be.
What did we conclude? How would you describe the funk to a layperson?
But it is the sign of a Pinot Noir. Like that's what the grape smells like. It's kind of. I don't even know how to describe it other than that.
Funky. Okay. Well,
so go buy yourself a bottle of Pinot Noir.
A good bottle from France.
There you go. Smell it. And like that's Pinot Noir. You can buy a cab, put it next to it, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay. I mean, we've had some bizarre cabs as of recent, so I'm not sure that I actually agree with you. Some earth-defying Pinot Noirs, some wine-defying Pinot Noirs. All right, you ready to taste this thing?
Sure.
All right.
Always.
Well, that's quite a bit more alcohol-y. And I get more of the funk in the taste than I do in the smell.
That is delicious.
It's pretty high in tannins too, isn't it?
Very high in tannin.
Yeah, so this is fascinating. So I would actually say the color intensity I'm going to go with pale, to be honest with you. High in tannin. What are you making of the acidity on this one?
It was kind of hard to say because of how
high the tannins are.
How in your face the tannins are.
Yeah. On the mid tongue, I get a very high alcohol content as well.
Yeah, it's got kind of like that heat to it.
Yeah. This is fascinating. So, definitely red. I'm it's pretty oaky, isn't it?
Yep.
Like a
Oaky.
smoky oakiness.
I think it's like a blueberry or blackberry going on there.
All right, I could get behind blackberry. Yeah, this is actually a rather complex wine.
Yep. I'm going to try to not drink the whole thing and see what happens as it gets exposed to air.
That's always the big question, right? Like, what does 30 minutes of time change this? I don't know, John. I rather like this, and I was not expecting to like it as much as I have. It's a rather simple bottle. It's very misleading.
I mean, I think like a lot of the established vineyards in France probably have very simple bottles. I guess you got kind of the old world bottle too, that this is not. This is literally just a decorative
This is a
font.
single font on a white background. And the most effort they went to was to put some lines on either side of the words Pinot Noir.
Yep.
It's a beautiful script. It's just I think, not to be too like philosophical here, but I believe Mark Hottie, the winemaker, just wants the wine to speak for itself.
Ooh, I'm reading the notes that are on the back of the wine now.
Go ahead, John. Say it out loud here.
So a deep black cherry color. I get it, but I wouldn't call it deep necessarily.
When I think of deep black cherry color, this is what comes to mind. I'm not saying this is right, but Luxardos, like that deep red. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not Luxardos.
No.
All right.
An intense floral black fruit aromas, which we got. I basically said that initially.
You didn't say floral. I don't remember floral. Black fruit, yes.
Right. Complex palate, possesses classic cherry and blackberry fruits. I think I agree with that.
Nailed it.
Interlaced with supple tannins in a complex weave of flavors.
I don't think there's anything supple about
They're
those
very
tannins.
much in your face right now. I wonder if it will balance out with time. But I would categorize it as a complex weave of flavors.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Good mouthfeel too.
Richly flavored, you get gracefully structured. Fine example of Pinot Noir, my favorite red grape variety, and should be savored with roast chicken and your best game dishes.
Ooh, game dishes. Did you have game tonight, John?
I did not. I had no meat at all.
Well, I had Chilean sea bass. So
not exactly the vibe we're going for.
No. But it's okay because I already ate. So. Well, this is not bad. So tomorrow night we will have Stones and Bones, which I believe you've had before, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the final evening ends with, I believe, a champagne, a brut, right?
That's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
You had to open up all of your doors. I have not.
I did
yet,
because I didn't want to, but what happened was that one mix-up threw me for a loop. I'm sorry. I said champagne. It is Prosecco. It is
interesting.
Scipione Gilani Prosecco.
The only sparkling of the wine advent calendar.
Yeah, I'm actually fascinated to see how the cork for that one is on.
Did we have one rosé or two rosés?
I just remember the one rosé.
Okay.
Because we threw a bit of shade at the rosé, right? Because I mean, like, I don't know. There's a sophistication that I would say is not usually associated with rosé that belong to most of the other wines in this Advent wine calendar. But that rosé was spectacular.
Yes.
So I think actually
spectacular in a different way than this Pinot Noir is spectacular.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of interesting depth. There was a lot of interesting profile. We talked a lot about it, which I think neither of us expected. And I'm just going to throw some shade where shade is due. Star Trek Wines last year with their jalapeno rosé definitely set us up for skepticism, I think.
Yes, for sure.
But,
which is probably shown as they still try to market the this year's Advent calendar in my email inbox as we are closing in on Christmas.
Yeah, the last one they sent was just the other day, which means that they're sitting on a truckload of poorly designed Advent wine calendars. I'll tell you what, as far as this one goes, it has exceeded all of my expectations in every way.
We've had very good wines that I would have probably not bought because it would have been outside of my price range. So
1,000%. Maybe not price range, but just like I wouldn't have gravitated towards buying them. Sure. So suffice to say, I would do this again in a heartbeat next year. So I will pre-order again without reservation.
Nice.
I don't know if anybody knows of a wine calendar out there that like will rival the Wall Street Journal. I'd love to know about it. I'm pretty committed at this point, but yeah.
We've had good experiences. Their overall web experience sometimes leave things to be desired, but the product quality has been great.
Yeah, WSJWine.com, really not a great website by any measure. And heaven help you if you need support. So,
which I have not had to try yet. So
twice I've been frustrated both times, but it is what it is. I can't imagine that they're investing a lot in their IT unit for Wall Street Journal wines. So, is what it is. But, all right. Before we jump into the main topic that you listed tonight, I wanted to say I sent you some podcast material. Did you by any chance listen to any of it?
I listened to the majority of the one about AIM.
Okay. I fell hard today for Versions by The Verge. And I listened to 2 episodes, and one of them was on AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, which I thought was spectacular. And then I listened to one on the iPhone 4 with guests Nilay Patel, who I know you're not crazy about, but also Walt Mossberg. And it was delightful to hear Walt on the radio again. Anyhow, first and foremost, I would just say, like, go check out this podcast because I think it was worth it. But I had to laugh at everything they talked about with AIM because it all resonated. And my first thought was, Johnny, what was your handle? What was your first handle on AOL Instant Messenger? Do you remember?
So I was trying to think because it started on AOL. And I don't know if I remember my first one, but I think it was something like Trekker 1701.
Oh, look at that. That would be amazing if you actually had that. That would mean you were very early in the game.
Because I remember this because as I approached entering high school, I thought, I don't want to be the Star Trek nerd, at which point I changed it to ML Spartan John, ML being Martin Luther, the name of my high school, Spartan being the mascot. So
okay, so not as inventive. My journey gets less eventful with time as well. So I started off with Tetro, Tetro 4. I do not know where I came up with that name. I know the original draft was Tetra, and my dad was concerned that it would be perceived as a feminine name, since most romantic languages, A is feminine. And so he convinced me to go Tetro 4, and that was it for a very long time. And then I pivoted to Insider with a Y, Homie, Homie, LC, because I was the insider homie who loves Christ. And I don't even remember. I genuinely don't remember the sequence of events that led to that choice. At some point, I shortened it to Insider, INSYDER 07, because I was originally going to graduate from college in 07. So I suspect that I made that name choice very early on my last year of high school. And then from there, Jonathan, I did a hard pivot to Stosh, STOSH 1985. And then, and I'm not going to say this one on the air, but I'll just say that the podcast doesn't cover any of this, but Apple at one point was allowed to have their .mac addresses, right? So you could do a name at mac.com appear as your AOL Instant Messenger account. And so I did a name that still follows me to this day at mac.com because I was so proud because you had to pay $100 a year to have that at mac.com address. And I was doing it. Yep. So, yeah, that was my AOL Instant Messenger journey. But I
had one more after so once I got to high school and realized I didn't have a lot of school spirit, at some point I pivoted to Dunklergeist 07, which means dark spirit in German, because I wanted to be mysterious and moody probably. So, but
and that is the one that you messaged me from.
Oh, is that the first one?
Yes, during our first internet engagement. So,
I emailed you first, but yes, throughout the cyber stalking years. Yeah.
It's funny to think about all of the different social dynamics that revolved around AOL Instant Messenger. I really encourage anybody to listen to the episode because it was fun. But I also am not sure that anyone will care if they were not a child of the 90s with the internet.
Right.
I could be wrong. But yeah, no, I don't know. It was a good nostalgic throwback.
It was like, it's amazing how similar everyone's experiences was. Like basically trying to attract your crush's attention.
Yeah. Right.
Coming up
all
with the
lyrics
messages. And
all with the lyrics in your way messages. Yes. I really appreciate it. At one point they referenced Dashboard Confessional and I was like,
Yep.
yes,
they got something corporate in there too. So.
Yeah. I definitely bought at least one Dashboard Confessional album for that purpose. So,
but yeah, those were the days, Stan. Some other great things, like this is from a time when you had to go to the internet. The internet didn't follow you around everywhere.
Yeah.
So they had the whole AFK thing and POS and
right. Yeah. Oh, parents over shoulders. Man, I remember that. I did appreciate the fact that, and I didn't recall this, but if I understood what they were articulating right, if you weren't online, you couldn't send the message to the person.
Right.
And that's brilliant, right? Like I really, they were talking about how nice that would be to have now. And no kidding, right? Oh. Like the fact that when I get off of a cruise ship, I turn my phone on and I've got everything that I missed. It stinks every single freaking time, you know?
Those were the days. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic.
I mean, I think there were definitely simpler times, right?
Do you remember the first person you ever instant messaged?
I remember who they were. I remember where I met them. I never met them in person. How's that for weird?
That's a little bit weird.
All right. Well, so the episode talks a little bit about AOL and the channels and the amount of like money and time they invested into channels, right? And I spent a lot of time on the kids only, whatever the network was.
I think it was kids only, yeah.
And there were these chat rooms that had adult moderators, and you could talk to whoever, right? And eventually you could instant message an individual. And I remember you would, always identify like, I'm a 12-year-old boy in Illinois, right? And the first person I ever direct messaged was a young lady, supposedly. I mean, who knows, right? Like, could have been an 80-year-old dude for all I know.
FBI agent.
Yeah, exactly, right? But someone who I met on one of those kids only channels. That was the first person I ever messaged. The first person that I messaged in real life extensively would have been my buddy Eric. So Eric lived just a couple blocks down the road. And we had actually at one point we had a running, it wasn't really a competition. Eric was smoking me on this, to see who was online. Their online time on AOL was the longest, right? Did you ever do this?
Yes.
Like see how long you go?
How can you? Yep. Online for the past however.
Yeah, right. So he had something like 40 some odd days at one point, which meant that you were like missing critical patches for Microsoft Windows, right? Because those came every Tuesday. And so he was opting out of those, plus any updates to AIM. Like there was a whole bunch of stuff that was just not, but he was.
That
he was
means his computer didn't crash during that time either.
Right. So. Which is also amazing. Right. And, Eric and I were definitely the types who would, bomb our computer down to stupid and reset everything up maybe every 3 to 6 months or something.
Yep.
So that was basically like you would, if AOL had to die, well, okay, it's time to reset the whole computer,
That's great.
I'm not even joking. Like this is legit, these, I'll never forget Windows ME, one of the like least stable operating systems I have ever used in my life. And that sucker was at war with my AIM online time, but
I remember it well.
Yeah. Good times, man.
Such a bright color scheme as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay. All right. So hold up. So who was the first person you messaged on AOL Instant Messenger? Do you remember?
So we were on like actual AOL at the time, and it would have been my paternal grandfather.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
That's super cool.
So I remember that very clearly. I remember some of like the topic categorization and stuff in AOL. But like there was a lot of stuff I had forgotten just listening to this episode. Like,
Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of wild to like think back to the first instant message you got, right? And how wild that is. And now, text messaging is this instant messaging on steroids, right? And it's such a pervasive pattern in our lives. Slack, Microsoft Teams, whatever. So I thought that was one of the cool things about the episode, was just kind of like articulating the impact, the imprint that this thing has had on technology and society and culture and our day to day,
Yeah. What I really appreciated was I had no idea how rogue the instant messenger team was within AOL.
Yeah.
I got I got a lot of humor out of that. So
Yeah. So Skunkworks project, they tried to kill it, dumped it on an FTP server of all things, and off to the races.
like thinking about how far the internet has come to, like when you would just put things up on an FTP server.
Yeah, not even a secure FTP server, just FTP, and you download it. A public one, right? Not even authenticated. I remember, so AOL 4.0 was like a foundational pivot for the AOL platform. And I don't know how, but some way my dad got us into the AOL beta test group.
Nice.
And so we were pulling down back like AOL 3.2 and then AOL 4.0 betas before anybody else had them. And there was also this thing called AOL Connect, which I don't think ever got released. But it was like, what if AOL just connected you to the internet and didn't have everything else, right? And I remember downloading that off an FTP server, like we would get these emails with FTP links for the betas, and it'd take God knows how long to download and install, but it was worth it, right? And if my kids happen to listen to this, I had exactly 1 hour of screen time after my homework was done and after dinner was complete to sit in the computer in the kitchen in front of everybody to use. And that was it. So
did you have headphones or not?
No, but I don't remember doing any kind of talking on AOL.
Right. We didn't do talking, but like you can hear they went through all the sounds from original.
Were any of those triggering? That closed door sound. That closed door sound. Oh my gosh. Who just signed off, Yeah.
That's the other thing. The buddy list, which we see pop up in all these sorts of things too.
Yeah. Buddy list. Good times, man. Good times. They even mentioned Trillium and Pigeon, along the way, which that's some super nerdy stuff. So yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Anyhow, as I listen to this today, I thought you'd enjoy it. I think you will enjoy the iPhone 4 episode. So I would definitely commend that to you. I still think that the iPhone 4 is one of those pivotal moments in the transformation of digital culture. It's the one that Lucy, my oldest daughter, waited in line for because you couldn't order it online and and then have it delivered. You had to go to a store, wait in line, and go pick it up. And those lines were crazy long. I called off work. We waited all day. I think we got to the mall at like 4 a.m. or whatever. My wife and I, we both had to be present because we were getting 2 phones. And Lucy even got nursed in line at the mall because she was that little. This is all kinds of crazy.
But I love that phone.
Deep lemon lore. But I think that phone is the moment where everything changes in how we look at our phone. And they talk a little bit about this, right? And there's other like important milestones to the phone, but the fact that the 4 comes out with the Retina screen, it's got this shape that we still recognize today, right? All phones are modeled to look after the iPhone 4, and they make this point. It's also when, Apple begins the journey to expand the networks. So this is some good stuff, some good lore, some good tech lore.
Nope. I think the 4 was my first iPhone.
I think the 4 was a lot of people's first iPhone. I had the original and I had the 3GS. And the 3GS was a huge leap in terms of speed. At least it felt like it compared to the original. But the 4 was just, it was the first time I felt like I had a supercomputer in my hand.
Yep. Man.
All right, John.
Now we're just dating ourselves, Stan.
We are. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, we're not old. We're classic. That's what kids say there. We're classic.
Classic, sure. Retro.
All right. What's the topic for tonight?
So we talked about my goals for 2026. Are we gonna get any lemon goals for 2026?
Yeah, it's funny. You threw me for a little bit of a loop. So when we talked about your goals, I asked you about like just repeating my goals from previous years, right? You remember that discussion?
Yep.
Yeah. If we had an editor, they would play that clip right now, and they'd be like, "Oh," right? But we don't.
One
So
day the robots will get there.
one day the robots will do it. Yep. So that, like I said, threw me for a loop a little bit, right? And I actually took and you made a distinction of habits and hobbies. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but and you actually challenged me to believe that I would not stop doing my hobbies or my habits if I didn't write them down as a goal, right?
Correct.
And I'm not sure I believe you. Okay.
Time will tell.
What's that?
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. But I decided that for 2026, I was going to write down my habits, my hobbies, and my goals separately. Right.
Okay.
So the hobbies, pretty simple: reading, playing guitar, coding. Right. Three things that I do pretty regularly. Debatably, here I might put in cycling. I'm on the fence about this. We'll talk about it here in a minute.
Okay.
Habits, exercising, and doing devotions with my family every night. Right. All five of these things started off as discrete goals for me in years past. I wanted to read every day. I wanted to practice the guitar at least every other day. I wanted to do some non-work oriented coding at some kind of regular interval. And we should talk about measurability, but I do that now. Like I've got my hobby projects for coding. I'm pretty consistent playing the guitar. I'm getting pretty good at Silent Night, John.
Nice.
And reading is pretty intrinsic into my world. So, those are the hobbies. Habits, devotions with family. I don't even remember when I first listed that down, but I actually used to track that on the Streaks app to make sure that I was doing it. Now it's ingrained into the day. So if I don't remember to do it, someone's going to call me on it, right? So
Yep.
feel like that's a good habit. Exercising right now, I think that's pretty well entrenched. I've been pretty deliberate about that for about 2.5 years now. So I feel pretty
Some might
good.
say obsessive at points in your life.
Maybe, but hey,
You aren't doing CrossFit yet, so
no, that's a religion. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. But so I listed those things, and that allowed me to, because remember we were talking about like how many goals is too many, right?
Yep.
And did you have a magic number? What was it, like 3, 5, 8, 32?
I don't think I gave up one. I think mine are I probably have too many for next year.
Okay.
But
I know that if I make more than 8, it's a list I'm not going to hit.
Okay.
So last year, the way I got around this is I made 5 with some sub bullets, right? But a couple of them were things that honestly didn't need to be in there. So read every day. Yeah, it was already a habit. I wasn't at risk of doing that. But I specifically wrote down read Moby Dick and read Lord of the Rings slowly, right? So I felt like, those are my sub bullets. That works. Exercise, I gave some, prescription around it. And I've hit, oddly enough, this is the first year I've hit everything. I've managed to knock everything off that I wrote down last year.
nice.
Usually I leave something behind.
I think last year mine was survive.
Yours was survive.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's looking good so far, Stan.
Looking good so far. Yeah, looking good so far. So here I am, habits, hobbies. I've got this question about cycling. So the last 2 years, I want to get back into cycling. 2 years ago, set a goal for 500 miles. Decided just to repeat the goal in 2025 for 500 miles. I had a non-explicit goal that I actually set in the course of the season to ride a 50-mile ride. And that was miserable. I actually came up just short. I think it was 49.6 or something like that. And that ride was like truly unpleasant.
Within the margin of error.
Within the margin of error, like I knew I wasn't gonna go do it again. So I've been thinking about this, and I struggle to ride by myself these days, to ride by myself and enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay.
And so there might be a goal there, right? To try to learn how to ride 25 miles by myself again and enjoy it. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. That's what I'm considering. Noah, if you're listening to this, I still want to ride with you. It's not about you. I'm still expecting to ride with you, buddy. We rode 13 times together, and I'd like to make it 15. So there we go. Maybe there's a goal. Ride 15 times with Noah. Okay.
Ride once with John.
Ride once with John. That would be good. That'd be good. Okay. So I've got a couple of things that I'm committed to. Two actually, to be specific. I got one I'm on the fence about, and then one that we'll spend the next 30 minutes talking about.
All right.
All right. Any feedback on this bicycle riding one? What do you think?
I think that you do need a bicycle riding goal because we're going to hit like May or something, and you need something to motivate you to get out there the first time.
You're not wrong. Like getting the bike out the first time is absolutely the hardest. Yeah. But when you do it, like it's
Like, oh yeah, I like this.
I like this. I like this a lot, and it's worth doing. And then you're figuring out like where I'm going to ride, like the strategy of it all. Like, and some of that's fun, some of it's not. But I think that first ride is absolutely the hardest. So I'm with you there. Are you gonna put a goal? Like maybe you should have a goal for a mile count next year.
Maybe I should, but right now I am pretty darn overcommitted. So we'll see what the finalist ends up like.
I've struggled. I'll tell you this too. I've struggled with some goals where the start date isn't January 1st. I actually think it's better when the start date's not January 1st. But like bicycle riding, I'm not going to start riding my bike in January. That's crazy. But you got to remember then to start it, right? So it makes this whole goal thing more than just the month of January, which is good. It's important. All right. So goal number one. Let me see dear listener, I can see John. John can see me. It's part of the way that John knows how to read my mannerisms, I think. You see what's written on this book, John, in front of you?
Grateful,
yeah. So this is a gratitude journal, is what I've been told.
Okay. It's interesting that this is like an actual book, physical.
It's an actual book, yes. This is Mrs. Lemon's idea, and yes, I did consider doing this digitally, but I actually told her that I would like her to find me a non-cheesy gratitude journal. This it looks like 54 entries, so it's not gonna. I don't think this is an everyday thing. I gotta ask
54 sounds like basically one a week, right?
Yeah. There's these weekly challenges. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this, but the general gist is I write down, I am grateful for 1, 2, 3. Today was ... and I'm amazed by ... And I looked into this. There's a whole bunch of like different kind of prompts in the gratitude journal space.
Interesting.
This is not something that I am inclined to do.
Right.
This is Mrs. Lemon's idea because I have, and this is going to come into the one that's going to take us forever to talk about here. Sometimes I struggle to be grateful for all of the good gifts the Lord gives me in my day to day, because I get so discouraged by the frustrations, the negativity, the pressures of the world. Right.
Basically, Stan is easily annoyed.
I'm easily annoyed. I'm frustrated. And I feel like when the world compounds problems on me, it is so stinking hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Right. And it, maybe it's being at this season of life. Maybe it's having 3 kids. Maybe it's being this season of my career. Maybe it's, having joints that creak when I get up out of the chair, whatever it is. Things don't go wrong one at a time. They go wrong in bulk. Right.
Yep.
And it's just so easy to get kind of in a dark place. So Mrs. Lemon has challenged me to write in a gratitude journal.
Right.
And I think I'm going to do it, John. I think I'm going to try and do a gratitude journal. What do you think of that?
I think it's worth a shot.
Oh, come on. You got more than that.
I'm very interested if you're going to be willing to share on podcast episodes about things you're grateful for, Stan.
You know what? that's I'm not sure, John.
Yeah. So
all right. So that's the first one.
I'd be interested to see how it goes. I think that it's probably a good thing for you to try.
For you to try. All right. So I'm gonna try and write in a gratitude journal. The second one is I think I've told you I started running, not a lot, not fast, but at least once a week for now, I think 2-3 months, something like that.
Was this just so that you could calculate your VO2 max?
No, I have my VO2 max calculated in Apple Trends, but you're hitting the nail on the head. So in Apple Fitness, there's a set of trends that show up for you, and one of them is a running pace. It is the only trend for which I do not have data. And it annoys me to the point that I have taken up running, apparently, which is absurd. This says that you need at least 6 months of data, right?
Oof.
In order to establish a trend. So I am committed in 2026 to establishing a running trend in Apple Fitness. I'm not looking to establish a trend for myself or my life or my longevity. I just want the trend to show up in Apple Fitness. And so whenever
we did touch on this. Was this our first episode back where AI basically was giving you running shoes for seniors recommendations?
Yeah. It was Crash talking to me about In AI's defense, I misled it, but yes, that good memory, John. Good memory. So, in order to do this, I just need to run. I don't need to, because I was trying to think I hit an 801 mile last week. Today, after being sick with a chest infection, I went to run and I jogged 2 miles at a 13-minute pace. So, I'm not sure that I care about the time. It's always a little, joyful for me to throw shade at my daughter if I were able to beat her time, though I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
Yeah, I think that she is still moving up to her peak.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well past yours. So.
Yeah. But I felt pretty good about that AO1, John. I mean, come on now.
Yes, that was good.
I thought about maybe I should
Stan.
set it at 7:15. Well, that's the other thing is I don't want to do that, right? Thought about 7:59 would be a cool goal, but I think I could probably, I get healthy from this chest infection thing. I could probably nail that. So do I want to run a certain number of miles? Not really, because I don't actually enjoy running. I am not a running person. I'm not doing this for fun and giggles. So it's the trend, right? How's that feel, John? Does that feel on brand? I'm trying to get an Apple Fitness data point.
That definitely feels on brand. When you do something, you never half do something. So
no, there we go. Now the question is, when the trend establishes, will I continue to run?
I think your body will tell you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. All right. So third thing on the list. This is the one that I'm on the fence about. I used to bake bread all the time, and I have not baked bread with any type of consistency really since moving to this house, believe it or not, which that's 8 years. I've had a couple stints where I baked pretty regularly, but I haven't had a sourdough since we've lived here, which is crazy to me to think about. Because I had a sourdough for a good chunk of Seymour and made sourdough bread. I won a ribbon at the county fair with my sourdough, right?
And this was before making sourdough was cool.
Yeah, it was way before. Like this is way before.
This is pre-COVID.
Yeah,
this
all
is pre-Taylor Swift deciding she's going to make sourdough. All
of that, right? Maybe I stopped doing it because it became trendy. I don't know, but there's a part of me that thinks that I would like to make bread, maybe even make sourdough again, but I want to make just a good crusty loaf once a week. So I'm thinking about that as a goal. Now, I will say this: I won't, if I take a week off on vacation and I don't make a loaf of bread, I'm not going to penalize myself on this goal. But I think the goal is to make bread with some kind of consistency next year. So that's something I'm dabbling with because it was a hobby in the past. I would not consider it a hobby now. I'm not sure I want to make it a hobby, like in perpetuity, but I'd like to get back into it, I think.
To be fair, you do make pizza dough every week.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But that's, that's
I'm
not
part
trying
of the
to,
family culture.
That's part of the family culture. Yeah. That's a habit at this point.
Oh yeah.
That's been a habit for a long time. So, those are the two and the third that I'm on the fence about. And then the big one here is the one I want to talk about. So I sent you a text message today. Do you have it handy? You want to read it maybe?
Let me find it. You've sent me a whole bunch of things since then.
Oh, keep scrolling. It's before the AIM one.
No. Before the
not?
AIM one? No, it's after.
Oh, okay. All right.
How would I measure better work-life balance? Then you say, don't tell me now. You'll ask me tonight.
Yeah. So here's the gist. I would like to have a better work-life balance, but I think most people make this into closing the laptop at a specific time. Right. And
which is not really possible in your current role.
it is and it isn't. There are times when it definitely isn't, right? But I also don't think that's actually my biggest problem.
Yep.
So I think that, especially like last summer, I had no problem wrapping up pretty consistently at the same time of day, normal load of hours. I think this has just been a really trying year in my career, and the stress of it bleeds out when the laptop is closed. And so what I keep thinking about is not so much the calendar, because I think I'm managing the calendar okay. It's all of the effects of my job on my non-job life, right? So it, like I said, pretty rough year. Like by all accounts, I would even dare say maybe one of the roughest years of my career. Okay. And I have been more often than not frustrated in a dark place. You can see how this maybe ties back to the gratitude journal thing a little bit, right? And I don't think it's unrealistic. It's unreasonable, in fact, for me to expect my job to be like awesome all the time, right? Or to have me leaving work every day feeling fulfilled and satisfied and happy and like, I'm making wonderful change in the world. Like I don't think that's realistic, because I don't think most people feel that about their jobs, right? I think a lot of us have been raised up to think about work in an idealistic way that is quite honestly irresponsible, but also just sets people up for failure. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think you have really colored how I approach work too, because I think it was probably a decade ago at least, where you talked about work was being a means to an end, to give your family a good life, to support your church, things that you do that. So I've kind of taken that to heart as well.
And that's not to say that you can't enjoy what you do or you can't feel satisfied or any of that, right? But I don't subscribe to the notion that I have to love my job, because again, it is a means to an end, right? Like I need a check, I need income, and I need to be able to provide for my family. And so things can, quite frankly, they can suck, and that's okay. It also, just to be clear, like having a job that isn't fun right now does not mean that I'm not, putting in my all or working hard. In fact, I might be doing that, and that makes it even more difficult, right? Like there's a certain element of like, if I could just check out, man, it'd be so much easier. But that's also not really my nature. And so again, where I've been at is I think I've managed the calendar well. I've been able to take vacation, I think, pretty well. And when I take vacation, I log out, right? So I'm disconnected from work. I've had some good reboot, recalibrate times. And yet I don't feel like I have good work-life balance. So I am trying to figure out how I measure improvement in this area. I have some ideas in terms of how I can improve it, but how to measure it, I think, is the thing that I don't know, John. Like, yeah.
So I'm curious if the issue is work-life balance or something else, right? Because like work and life are always going to be out of balance, because like you're all in on work when you're sitting in a meeting, and then you're all in on family, hopefully, when you're making pizza, right? So like there's a certain amount of that. You've basically said like it's not a time commitment thing for the most part. I think that you, over the course of a year, probably work less hours than I do, because you take more vacations and
there you go. Hey, if anyone that employs John is listening, please give the guy just a couple more federal holidays. That's all I'm asking, right? I'd like to hang out with him more. Please call me, write to me. I'm happy to talk to you more about it. Me and the AI robots will persuade you that this is the right course of action for both your business, Jonathan, and quite frankly, myself.
So I'm curious, like, is it the work-life balance? Is it because work stress is spilling over? So is it like a mental shift thing that you need to do, or what?
I think it's the latter. So I think it's stress spilling out and frustration, being on edge. And so it's fascinating to me that you don't categorize that as work-life balance, because I tend to think of work-life balance in terms of time, stress, like being able to, I don't want to say compartmentalize because that's not healthy either, but like maybe compartmentalize, work from home so that when I step outside of my designated workspace here, that I'm not still, fuming or frustrated about the human encounters, interactions that I've just had, and I don't know how to disassociate in a way that's healthy. But that's probably part of the journey of the next year, is to think about deliberately like leaving that stuff behind. I probably told you this before, but I struggle with midweek church services a lot. And I've had a former pastor and even a friend like ask me like, why, what's wrong, at a midweek service? Because I roll out of work, hop in the car, drive straight to church, and I'm in service, right? And I'm still like all in mentally on what's been going on at work, right? And so it takes me a little bit to reset the clock. And I'm, again, I have the ability to figure out techniques to reset the clock between work and whatever I'm going to do next. But I've always thought about this church example, because I'll be sitting in the pew and I'm like looking grumpy, and then after church, people want to like socialize and talk to me like they would on a Saturday night, and I'm just like, go away, leave me alone, right? Because I haven't had enough time to like free myself from the manacles of my day. Yeah. So
I think you just articulated the problem. You need a clear demarcation point.
I need a demarcation point, yeah. And I need enough time to unwind from the demarcation point, I think. And in that time, whatever that window is, I got to figure out a way to like capture the thing that has got me annoyed or frustrated so that I can set it aside. And I think I can figure that out. But the thing that I'm struggling is, how do I know if I've succeeded in this goal? How do I track that I've succeeded in this goal? How do I measure it?
I have an idea, but first I'm going to talk about, as much as I hate my commute, I think this is one place where my commute serves me well, even if it just
1,000%.
transfers my frustration to the idiot drivers around me. And then I come home, I'm still angry. And then Anna is one who takes on other people's emotions. So like 30 minutes later, she's angry. I'm like, what's wrong? Because I have moved past it. So there's that. But how to measure, I don't think you can do it yourself. I think you have to designate probably Sarah to basically at the end of the day give you one of your, like how you rate the cruise line food, thumbs up, thumbs down, or the mid-hand. And
okay.
then,
All right,
then you can measure it over time that way.
Okay, there's a couple of things we need to double click into there to explain. But are you telling me I should go vibe code an app for my wife to use?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think that because I'm not into that frame of mind yet, but yes.
So she could record how my day went. Right?
You can get a push notification.
I get a push
11
notification.
11 o'clock at night. It's like,
perfect.
Hey,
your wife says today sucks.
House,
right?
man.
And then I could track trends and insights. See, I love where this goes. This is playing right into my hobbies.
And you could do it. All of your kids could do it too, and then you could collate the responses. So, like,
if
that's
your wife what I need. All of them ganging up on me.
If your wife is having a bad day, then it doesn't ruin the results.
We'll call it the jerkometer, right? And they can rate from a scale of 0 to super jerk, right? Yeah.
We could do like pictures of your head. We could have angry Stan, happy Stan.
There we go. I could see where this goes. This could be more antagonistic than not. No, okay. All kidding aside, I think you're onto something. I do want to just explain. So when I go on a cruise, every night I record what I have eaten in a note from the dinner menu, because on a Disney cruise, you sit down, it's a nice dinner. You get a menu with a prefix set of things. Those menus are not very different from boat to boat or cruise to cruise, right? So that allows you to look back on something and say, oh, the Disney Fantasy did really good with the red snapper, but the Disney Magic didn't, right? Or whatever. Or Wonder. I haven't been on the Magic.
Honestly, that's probably another app idea, Stan.
It could be another app idea. Yeah. That's super niche. But the kicker here is I use an emoji rating system, right? There's a thumbs up. There's it's just a hand horizontal. I call it the meh, right? It's
like paper when you're playing paper.
Yeah, it's like paper, but it's the meh emoji. And then there's a thumbs down. In extreme situations, you can throw 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs downs, right? But I'm extreme. Like I really limit. I've done it 2 thumbs up,
The
like
souffle.
maybe souffle. Yeah, exactly. Right, and thumbs down. I don't know if I've ever sent anything back. Have I sent anything back? I've definitely asked for a follow up meal, but I don't think I've ever sent anything back. So anyhow, that's what John's referring to, and so that's interesting to have Mrs. Lemon basically be the scorekeeper day to day on have I done a good job chilling out after work is what it amounts to.
Because ideally, she's going to be more objective than you are.
Ideally. Yeah. Yeah.
Like your brain is probably solving all your work problems throughout the entire night, if it's anything like mine. But how does it spill over into your family life and when you aren't actively working?
Right. Right. So all those times that I walk out, I'm like, oh, my job is so frustrating. Mrs. Lemon can just keep track of them and then report back to me. So no, it's not a bad idea. I'll have to run it by her and see her. Cause this is what I've been trying to figure out is how do I measure success or failure? Right. Cause I think this goal is important to me. And there's a lot I have to do, right, in order to figure out the structure by which I will clear the mental catacombs of my day. You mentioned something that I want to jump back to. So the drive, the commute.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to this. There's a couple facets. One, we used to be able to leave work in an office, right? You come home, you didn't take the laptop or whatever. Like that was it. You were done.
Yep.
That created a nice boundary. Now, the world that I work in, right? We're running software for the world. So like there are certain situations and scenarios where I'm going to be paged regardless of what time of day it is, right? Or what day of the week it is. But there's something that I miss about my first in-office job where I turned the computer off and I went home and that was that. At that time, it was novel to work at home. There's pros and cons to each, but that drive in and out definitely gives you the ability to like just shed the day and the frustrations.
Yep.
I've noticed, so once a month I go to a co-working space with some colleagues in town. And I've noticed that day when I come home, I think I got a little more pep in my step. Right. And it could be partially like change of scenery, could be partially being with people.
It's part of that, part of it's people. But yeah.
I also think like I have a deliberate unwind, unload, reset for about 20 minutes on the way home.
Yep.
Right?
And you are literally alone in your car. You got to deal with other super drivers. But like, yeah, you can be however you want to be.
This could be a really clutch use of the Vision Pro for me.
Yep.
I
think the other thing you have working against you at home is you do lots of things in the space that you're sitting in now.
Yeah. Which is not going to change. Like it's not, this is I don't have stuff in other rooms of the house. All my stuff is here, but it does mean that like when I sit down here, there is a propensity to look at the laptop. I am decent at, on a day when I know I don't have an evening commitment, actually closing and unplugging it. So
nice.
That's a thing that I do to like mentally reset. Now, you and I have been talking, especially this last December, because this has been just a hell of a ride. Where the laptop is on and I'm like checking to see what's going on because something stressful is afoot.
Yep.
But that shouldn't be normal. It's been a ride here in December, so it shouldn't be normal. That I think I can manage. Like I can actually structure around that. But I need to like brain detox. And then, I love this idea of having Mrs. Lemon be the scorekeeper.
Because then when you're 2 weeks into January and it's been thumbs downs for 2 weeks straight, then it's like, okay, now Stan's got to try something different. So.
Right. Yeah. So now I do need to decide, like, should I vibe code it, get a little app going?
I think you should.
Testify.
I mean, because then it's easier for you to throw analytics on it too.
Or have Claude throw analytics on it. But yeah.
Right.
Okay, Jonathan, I like this idea. I like the path you're sending me down. So I will, after we're done here today, I'll go have a discussion with Mrs. Lemon, and we'll see what we can put into play. What so just to come back here real quick, baking bread should be on the list or no?
If it's something that you want to get back into, I think it absolutely should be on the list. I think that you stopped baking bread because your kids stopped eating it. So maybe once a week is too often.
Well, the other thing I could do is figure out how to like shrink a recipe, right?
Right.
Because they like it. They like it the day it comes out of the oven, right?
Got it.
And the day after, nobody's interested in it. And so if it's a big loaf, like it's not going to go. So maybe I need to frame this as like a treat, right? That is small enough that we let the Hunger Games play out here,
Right.
and then go from there. Maybe that's a way to
Do that, and then maybe plan like a French toast breakfast when it is going to go bad.
Oh, French toast. That sounds good. That sounds good. And then, so riding. Do you think I should set the same goal for mileage, or should I up it?
You crushed 500 miles, didn't you? I think you should probably up it because you continue to get in better and better shape at this point.
So
Illnesses
the
aside.
alternative is I go for speed. I don't know if I care about speed though.
I mean, are you trying to get somewhere fast? I think
Am I trying to get somewhere fast?
Distance probably makes more sense.
Okay, so I think I'm trying to see if I could find this on Strava. I think I hit my so I did 611 miles this year, and
okay, I thought it was more than that.
No, well, here's the interesting thing. So my last ride was September 1st. The week before that, I did 0 miles. The week before that, I did a 25-mile ride. Then I had 2 weeks of 0 miles. So basically, at the start of August, I was done with my 500-mile goal with some change to spare, and I kind of petered out. So I think there's something to that in that once I hit my goal, I lost a little bit of steam.
Should it be a outdoor ride cadence instead of a mileage? Like you're going to go ride at least 10 miles once a week?
10 miles once a week, or just twice a week?
Right.
Maybe just riding twice a week would be a good goal.
And then set whatever dates you'll actually go outside and ride your bike. So
my first, well, you know what's crazy? Last year I went out and I did a 15-mile ride at the end of February.
Yep.
Because it was crazy.
That it was February's going to be like that again.
God, that'd be great. I think it was February 24th. I went out and I did 25th, excuse me. I did a 15-mile ride because I was just feeling it. I actually dragged Henry along on that one too. So, okay, two rides a week. I'll do the math on this. Two rides a week, and I'll come up with a time window because I got to give myself a little bit of flexibility at the beginning of the season and the end of the season. You know,
I forgot about my wine stand. I think Current
I did
has
not.
come out.
I've been surprised. What's that?
I think Current has come out in the end.
Oh, interesting. So I was going to tell you, I don't get any of the alcohol taste that I had originally. That bite on the top middle.
Still crazy very apparent tannin though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I actually don't think this is a good podcasting wine.
Mm-mm. Should come with water too.
Yep. I would not, this is not what I would have pegged for a Pinot, to be honest with you.
But it's got a very distinctive Pinot flavor. But there's so much layer and texture. It's a very enjoyable sipping wine.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to pound this one.
Apparently food pairing. So
yeah, you're right. It's definitely the funkiness is now more in the nose. I was getting it more in the mouth before. Mm-hmm. The other thing too is I get like I'm not getting a bunch of Current.
Interesting.
But my nose is a little shot this week. So I do get like some of that smokiness is not as prevalent as it was at the start of the wine.
But it's still present. Yeah.
It's more subtle. It's less like burned leaves.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of a chocolatey note on the sides of the tongue in the back. Cocoa, not chocolate, cocoa.
Could be cocoa. Could be cinnamon.
Ah, there you go. That's what it is. I think that's better. Yeah. Cinnamon, like a baking spice. Yeah. All right, Jonathan, have I satisfied your goals discussion?
I think that we're good to go on goals for 2026.
All right. So now we just have to figure out what we're going to talk about in 2026.
I mean, there's always milkshakes.
There's always milkshakes and more AI. Did we go a whole episode without any AI talk?
Well, until now. Well, we talked about vibe coding, so I guess that counts.
Oh, that counts? Oh,
we went back and we talked about ancient technology.
There you go. Any reports from our twisty friends?
So Emily, the one who wrote the emails, is out until after Christmas, so I have not gotten her thoughts. Rebecca did listen today. Liked some things, like you actually admitting that French silk is pie. And then there were a bunch of things that they didn't like. But I would probably expect another email comes in at some point.
Okay, that'd be delightful. Rebecca, please send your thoughts in, podcast@twistoflemonpod.com. We read all of your emails, and we will talk about all of your emails on the podcast, which tells you exactly how many emails we've gotten, right? Well, we've gotten one. It's been fantastic. We'd love to make it fantastic again.
Right.
So, all right, Jonathan. I think that is, until next time, my friend. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's a wrap, yo. Time to unplug. Stan and Jon just served that mug. Twist of lemon, sharp and clean. Truth and tech on your podcast screen. Catch us next time. Don't let it slip. Wisdom packed in every clip. From faith to fiber, finance to code. We're taking the mic